Hey, 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 you guys. It is Testimony Tuesday, our favorite night of the week. But tonight's going to be extra special. Every testimony, is so powerful, whether you've been on this call before or maybe tonight is your very first time being on the call. It's because a friend reached out to you because they love you so much. They wanted you to hear this story tonight. Tonight, we've got an extra special testimony for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But we're going to share that in just a little bit. I want to open us in prayer, and then I'm going to share a little bit about plexus, and then our guest is going to take it away. So, Father God, we thank you so much for tonight. We thank you that you are the God of hope. You are the God of health. You are the God of healing. And we thank you for each and every person that's on this call tonight. We know that they're here on a purpose, for a purpose. And we bless this time. We give you the glory, and we thank you for what you're going to do as you just show up and show off and use Maria as she shares her story of hope, health, and happiness tonight, because her life has been radically changed, Lord. And we thank you. We give you the praise and the glory. In your name we pray. Amen. So, you guys, my name is Karen Cotton, and again, tonight is Tuesday nights are our favorite night of the week. Testimonies that are absolutely so powerful and life-changing, and we don't just say that lightly. But I wanted to share a couple of things with you on, like, maybe you're on this call and you're like, I don't even know what plexus is, but a friend invited me and told me I needed to get on this call tonight at 8 o'clock. So I want to share a little bit with you. What is plexus? Plexus is the Hope, Health, and Happiness Company. We are AAA rated by the Better Business Bureau. We are a debt-free company. That's a big deal. Debt-free company. We are based out of Phoenix, Arizona. Our company motto for Plexus, which is my absolute favorite, is when blessed, be a blessing. And you're going to hear tonight, if it's your very first time on this call, you're going to hear like, how is this even a blessing? Because I know many of us question that in the beginning. How are we saying it's a blessing? You're going to hear exactly how it is a blessing in so many different ways. When you are with Plexus, so you join Plexus, you get a family. That is part of the whole package is a family. You're not just getting products, you're not just getting support through the company, you're actually getting family support. That's what this is. We are one big happy healthy family over here. And Plexus actually pays out 50% of commissions to all ambassadors. That is huge. Again, you're going to hear a little bit more about what that might look like tonight. But again, family, hope, health, and happiness, debt-free company based out of Arizona. We're actually, the corporate office is solar powered. I just learned that today. I did not know that. So we are solar powered. And you guys, with Plexus, you actually get a referral link that you can share with friends and family when you get started. And the blessings just come from there. It's super simple. You just share your referral link, and when products work for you, right? We share all the things, our hair girl, our nail girl, all of the things, right? So this is the same thing. You are just being blessed in return by being able to use that referral link. So I shared a little bit. I'm going to get ready to pass it over in just a minute, but I talked about Plexus being the Hope, Health, and Happiness Company. And when we're blessed, be a blessing. So I wanted to share before I pass it over to Kimberly to introduce our beautiful, amazing, I would say guest. She's our guest speaker tonight, but many of you guys on this call already know her. But we don't ever really know the people, our friends, our family that are struggling, that might be keeping things inside, that are praying for an answer, that are praying for something, right, to come about in their life. And so in this case, for many, and you're going to hear tonight, again, people are praying for a lifeline. They need something they need God to come in and just use something to intervene, right? It's that lifeline. And so this lifeline came in the form of a friend and a pink drink. That's how he delivered. And so I'm gonna turn it over to Kimberly as she shares our guest tonight.
So, Karen, like, I could not agree with you more. When you're saying a lifeline and a friend, I was thinking about tonight's call and how I was going to talk about my sweet friend and sister, Maria. But I'll never forget the moment where I got a phone call and it was Maria on the other line. And that phone call was out of complete desperation and being at a point in her life where I was looking from the outside in and I saw warrior, right? I'm watching her raise 3 incredible children. Nonetheless, I met Maria for the very first time at her late husband's funeral, you guys. Little did we know how God was lining things up for Maria and I to now have a sisterhood, do life together. But ultimately, like you said, a friend, a lifeline through a little pink drink. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to my sister and my very good friend, Maria Bianchi, who I am so grateful for every single day, and that we get not only to do sisterhood and life together, but that we get to do this together. I love you.
I love you. Aww. Yeah, I mean, it's been an incredible journey, and I am beyond grateful. I don't have the words really to say how grateful I truly am that okay, we're gonna make sure everybody's muted. Okay. And so with that, I wanted to share my story tonight. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so to honor all of those that have fought, that are fighting, that we've lost due to this disease, I thought it was super important that before we close out this month, that I get to share my journey with this terrible disease. And so I'm gonna take it back a little bit before I was actually diagnosed. So, for those of you that don't know, my story, I got married young. I got married at 20 years old, and started having my babies 23, 24. I started young, no regrets. And I was married for 17 years, 17 amazing years, until my husband was tragically taken away. In a motorcycle accident, right? And so he used to work with Kimberly. And so, as you heard her mention, we met at his funeral, right? She came up to me, and that's how we met. Our kids were in the same school, so we continue to see each other in life and through different kids' events. I think Travis had a little crush on my Maddie in middle school. So it was super cute. And I was like, come on, Maddie was just like not really into boys or anything like that. But so we remain friends and Facebook friends, and we just really just checked on each other, saw each other throughout town, so this was 17 years ago. So as you heard her share, God was just lining things up, because we met 17 years ago. To me, it's just insane. But so grateful to have her in my life, and to have so many incredible, amazing women in my life because of this little pink drink, right? So that was 17 years ago. I was 37 with 3 kids and widowed. So if that sounds stressful, yeah, that was very stressful, and all the things. And before I even had a chance to kind of even, and I don't want to say recover, but, just try to pick up my life and my kids, a week after I turned 40, I find a lump. I find the lump in my breast. And for a second, I think, okay, maybe it's nothing. And I'm sure we've all been there. It's like, oh, maybe it's nothing, right? Maybe not a lump, but something else. And I'm here to tell you, the same way it could be nothing, it could be something. So really quickly, I was like, well, maybe it is something. It was late Friday after work. So I had to wait till Monday, call my doctor and make an appointment, get a mammogram. I had just turned 40. And so went in and had my mammogram done. And they're like, yeah, there's something there. So we're gonna refer you to a surgeon, and we're gonna have, see what they think. So I went in, met with a surgeon, and he told me, from his experience, right? Sometimes we're very hormonal, sometimes, we get cysts, sometimes we get little whatever, sometimes they go away by themselves. It could be something, it could still be nothing. I was like, okay. I was still like, all right, let's do this. So he's like, let's do an ultrasound. I said, all right. So scheduled an ultrasound, and I can tell that she was seeing something in there more than um she was seeing, like she goes, how many lumps did you feel? How many, and I was like, oh Lordy. And next thing I knew is I needed to do a biopsy. So it was like, okay, let's do a biopsy because we're definitely seeing some things there. And we did the biopsy. Imagine from the first moment to the results of the biopsy, which he called me. I got a call from the doctor's office, and they're like, we need you to come in. I was just like, it's like a month later. I'm like, no, I'm not coming in. He's gonna have to get on this phone and tell me what's going on because I'm ready. I need some answers. I was just ready for some answers. And he's like, he's not gonna talk to you on the phone. I'm like, well, he's gonna have to because I'm not coming in. And so in that moment, I called my mom, and and I let her know that the results were in. They wanted me to come in, and so I'm just giving her an update when they call me back from the doctor's office, and it was my doctor. So I put my mom on three-way, and he's like, he's not happy. He's like, this is not how I do things, and I was like, I understand, but I just need to know. And his first words out of his mouth is, "You're in trouble. You're in trouble." Those were his words. And he says, you have breast cancer, and it's very aggressive. And at that moment, I mean, all I can think about was my children. I'm the only parent to my three young kids. Okay. When my husband passed, they were 6, 12, and 13. This is 3 years later. And all I can think about is like, this has to be a mistake, God. Like, there's no way. Like, I already got my cross to bear. You don't see it? Like, there's no way. This has to be a mistake. But I just literally disconnected. He just kept talking, and then I heard my mom and him talking. But in my mind, it was just like wah, 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 wah. Like, I really could not believe that this could be possible. Like, absolutely not. And so I kind of got it together. I mean, and got back in the conversation, and just heard, okay, what's next? I heard my mom just took over. She's like, okay, what are we gonna do next? What are we gonna do next? We're like, she needs to come in. We gotta, do an MRI. We gotta see, right? So the very next day I was in there doing an MRI. Come to find out, my entire breast was diseased. Like, it wasn't just one lump, it was completely diseased. Um, and from there, it was just meeting with an oncologist and surgical oncologist. I did the BRCA test, I did the genetic testing. It was just unreal, but I was just like, okay, I got this. I got my kids. All I can think about was, they need me. Like, God, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. We're in this together. You know, my kids are not ready to be without their mama, and I'm gonna fight. You know, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. And so I made the personal decision. I had to remove one breast. I made the decision to remove both. It's a very personal decision. Um, but for me, and I know a lot of people that, you know, they'll go in and they want to save the breasts and they want to just do little pieces of it. And I was just like, take them. I don't need them. I don't want them. I just want to be alive. And like I said, I know this is very personal, you know, and I just wanted to reduce all my risk, do everything I needed to do to get all of the disease out of my body. I will tell you, right? And again, you know, just going a little bit more detail because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Even to the point that when I met with my plastic surgeon about reconstruction, he was asking me, am I going to keep my areolas and my nipples? I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. So I went back to my doctor. I was like, and I asked him the question. He's like, well, we could if you want it. What we do is we will cut around it, remove it. We'll scrape all the disease or whatever, if there's any, will. And the minute he started saying that, I was just like, and then put it back in my body. I was like, no. So that was an easy no for me. Like, you're gonna take it, and this, you know, these are microscopic, you know, cells, right? Cancer cells. And I'm like, what if you missed a spot? Like, no, I do not want you to cut that out and put it back on my body. So the answer was no. Right. So I'm going a little bit more because I want you guys to understand, you know, the process, the details. And so so the answer was no. And so I went into surgery, had the double mastectomy, and since I was doing a reconstruction, it doesn't happen immediately. What they do is they put these I forgot what they're called, but they put them in your body. They're like these little balloons. And but you come out like flat chested, by the way, completely flat, no, you know, like a wall. And then I went in like every 2 weeks, and these little baggies that they put inside of my chest, they will fill them with saline every couple of weeks, and they would fill them up like a little balloon and to stretch your skin. They're called expanders. That's what they're called. And they're meant to expand your skin like you're going through puberty all over again. And your little boobies just start to pop out. Yeah. And that's just expanding the skin, right? So anyway, I thought, you know, because sometimes you're like wonder, like, how is the process? That is the process. But again, this was 14 years ago, right? I had just turned 40 years old. This was in 2010. You know, I didn't know anyone that had gone through the things that I had gone through. I had never, you know, especially the double whammy of losing my husband, being a single mom, and then going through breast cancer. And no, right? And so then it's 4 years later, because I again have precancer in my cervix. I have cysts in my ovaries. I have polyps in my uterus. And he's like, you have to have a full hysterectomy. There was just way too much going on. And so at 44, I have a full hysterectomy. So again, I mean, you all know. So think about what it's like losing a spouse, losing your boobs, losing all your hair, losing everything else. I mean, even just mentally as a woman, what does that do to you? I was even questioning, am I still a woman? Like, I don't have any women parts. Like, am I still a woman? Right? I mean, it just the mental game, the menopause, the weight gain, the hormone imbalance, the hot flashes, the night sweats, I mean, did I say weight gain? And the weight gain, depression. I was pre-diabetic. It was bad. I was struggling throughout my 40s, struggling and trying different things because I was desperate to feel better, right? 44, 45, 46. And then comes 2020. And just like things cannot get any worse, I lose my brother in 2020. He was everything to me. We were only 11 months apart in age. That means that when I was born, he was right there, 11 months old, probably poking me in the eye. We shared a bedroom too. He was 18 years old and he went to the military for 3 years, came back, and we built houses next door to each other. When my husband passed away, he was the one who was there for me, and my children became dad to my children, who took care of both houses, who was the man for both houses. And imagine, and my best friend, who I talk to every day, several times a day, who I hung out with, who I say, let's go watch a movie, let's go grab a beer, let's go whatever. It was him who I called. And then in 2020, 2 days after he turned 51, we're only 11 months. I had just turned 50. He turns 51. He collapsed of a heart attack and dies. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm done. I am done. I don't know what else you want from me, but I am done. That was the moment that I'm like, okay, I don't know really like what else you expect for me to do after this. I've been trying to recover from one thing to another thing, and then this thing to me was the biggest thing, and I was done. I was in this state. I was literally, all I thought about was dying every day. I wanted to die. I wanted to be with my brother. I started to clean out my drawers, my nightstands, organize my paperwork. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I just knew that I wanted it to happen. And, my family were like, you need therapy. And I'm just like, why do I need therapy? Like, is that going to bring my brother back? Then I don't want therapy. Like, I don't need therapy. Like, all I want is to be with my brother. Like, that's all I wanted. I mean, my kids are grown already. And that's who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Yes, I have a partner, but this was like my best friend. This is like since I was born. It's my best friend. He only wrote me when he was away in the military, right? I could not imagine life without him. I did not have, besides my kids, my family, I had him. I didn't have this amazing community of women. I didn't have, that. I just had work and my kids. So I was done. And so I got into a really bad place. I gained more weight, and that was April of 2020. So it was December of 2020 when I started to see Kimberly posting about this pink drink and gut health and blessing others. And I'm like, first of all, I was interested in the gut health, because one of the problems that I had is I couldn't go to the bathroom, which I had struggled with for 10 years, but struggling silently and privately because it's something so personal that we don't share with anyone. And so I was already reading a lot about gut health. So I was very interested in that. And so, I kept seeing how she was blessing others with this gut health. And I'm like, what is she talking about, blessing others with this gut health? But anyway, I need it, right? And as she said, I was desperate to feel better. I think a lot of us can relate as women. We are the experts in putting on a happy face and going out there, doing things with the kids, doing things with family, and just we are the masters of covering up what's really going on. And I did that. I was really, really good at that. But at the same time, I wanted to feel better. I wanted something different. And so it was December of 2020 when I was like, okay, Kimberly, what is this thing you're blessing people with? I think I'm gonna try that, right? And so I bought it in December. I started it January 1st, 2021. I took my first sip of the pink drink, and and I wasn't, I was in very depressed state. So I wasn't interacting with a lot of people. Only my mom. I only talked to my mom every day. My daughters were really concerned about me, but the only person I really talked to was my mom, and she called me every day to check on me. It's probably what kept her alive from losing my brother, because she was so worried about me. And I didn't talk much. I just listened. She talked and I listened. But I started these supplements. And so within a couple of weeks, I knew that I felt better. One, because I wasn't bloated anymore. I was going to the bathroom, and that was cool. That was really, really cool. Um, I felt, that I noticed when I started to sleep through the night. That was really cool. I felt, again, I wasn't feeling the extreme hot flashes and the night sweats keeping me up, and all the things. And my first month, I lost probably 7, 8 pounds, and I was like, whoa, this is incredible. And I didn't do a whole lot. I was really just taking the supplements. And then the second month, I continued taking the supplements, and I started to feel my energy levels come back up. I kept continuing to, I felt my clothes feeling looser. And I lost another 7 pounds. I think I was down like 15 pounds within the first 2 months. And by the third month, I noticed that, and even my mom, we talk about it now, but when she would call me, I was doing most of the talking, where before I was not talking. So she already knew something was going on, that I was not in that. And I was just starting to, because she would ask me every week, so what are you doing? What are you planning? I'm like, nothing, nothing, nothing. I didn't want to do anything because my brother was not here. I did not want to do anything. And by March, it hit me that something had changed, and that I wasn't in that depression anymore, that I was down 20 pounds, which was incredible because I really just wanted to poop and wanted some relief from that. But my energy changed, my sleep changed, my weight changed, my mood changed. And that's when I realized that I was going to be okay. And, Kimberly, she knows that I made 2 calls, one Friday afternoon, Friday morning. And the first one was to my oldest daughter. And I wanted her to know that I was going to be okay. She was not going to have to worry about me. And the second call was to Kimberly. And I wanted to let her know that she saved my life, and that she blessed me with these supplements. That I got it. I'm like, you truly did bless me, because imagine when all you think about every day is dying. It's a really, really dark place. And I did not want to be here at all. And so I'm so grateful, because of this little pink drink. I have this amazing community. I have my health. I have, I have an incredible business. I've traveled, earned all these free trips and prizes. I've been, there was one thing that happened a few months after that, and around June again. I was excited to just share, because I never felt so good. I was 51, and I've lost 40 pounds. I felt great, better than I had throughout my entire 40s. And I was so grateful. And I mean, sometimes you don't know how, when you feel good, you take it for granted until you feel bad for so long. And then you're so grateful for when you feel better, right? And so I knew the difference, and I was so grateful for how I felt, and I wanted to help everybody that was struggling. And then, God, and again, this is when God was like, very loud and clear, like, I'm supposed to share my story. I always wondered, like, what's my purpose, what I'm supposed to be doing here. I know that we're all made for purpose, and I didn't know what till then what my purpose was. And then I knew that I'm supposed to help other women, right? um Women, that have lost a spouse, women that are struggling financially, women that have gone through breast cancer, women that, single moms, women that are going through menopause, women that whatever it is. But I feel like I check off so many boxes, and I was like, God, why? Why? And I honestly, and I know we're not supposed to ask, but there were times that I was like, God, why? Why so much pain? Why so much suffering? Um, why? And I have my why. My why is it brings me so much joy to be able to help other people. And this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, is help as many women that are struggling silently, um, and maybe shine just a little bit of light of hope into their life. Because I know that, you know me, I act a fool and I'm silly. And you may think you see the hair, you see this or you see that, and you think, she has a great life, and she's been so blessed, and I am so blessed. But you have to know the whole story. You have to know that it wasn't always this way. And you just, God was there with me the whole way, letting me know it was gonna be okay. I always knew it was gonna be okay. We never know how a story's gonna end, but I think it's important for me and for people to know that um there were a lot of trials and tribulations to get here today. So that is my story. Is my story of hope. It's my story of health. I am on 0 prescriptions. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I feel great. I will be 55 in March. Um, I'm looking forward to our cruise that we worked so hard to earn. And I could not imagine my life without all the incredible, 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 incredible women that God has put into my life. And will not, I will not, what's the word I'm looking for? I will not waste that. I will not, I it just I'm grateful. I'm grateful from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful. So
Maria, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, for sharing. And if you are on this call, and I mean, I don't know that there was a dry eye. I know I was watching, I mean, between Karen and I alone, I don't know. I couldn't keep my eyes off Karen and Maria the whole time. But Maria has an incredible testimony, and there are so many incredible testimonies out there. We are doing these calls every single Tuesday to bring inspiration and hope and wellness and health, right, to everybody that we know. Maria, when you got up this morning, thank you for honoring what God had given you and saying yes to being our guest today on this call. Because, ladies, we woke up this morning and we had one plan, and nope, the Lord was like, this is actually what you're going to do. And in so many times, on top of that, okay, Lord, I hear you, right? That yes. You've inspired each and every one of us here tonight. And I'm so grateful for you and sharing and realizing that your purpose, your pain is now a purpose. You have purpose in the pain, in the things that you have walked through. And I'll never forget that moment when I picked up that phone and you were telling me all of the things, and there was tears and there was prayer, but there was also this from the outside warrior. Like I remember saying, girl, you're such a warrior, right? But I'm so grateful for you. And I think I speak for each one of us on this call tonight. Thank you for inspiring us tonight. I love you. If anybody has any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out. We are here every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you would like to share, we would love to have other people's testimonies on these Tuesdays as well. All right. Thank you again, Maria. And we'll talk
Thank you.
soon.
Good night. Thank you, Maria.
Good night.
Thank you.